Bring You are watching the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament on ISC Sports Network. It is the third place matchup. Third place on the line as the Western High School Panthers take on the North Putnam Cougars. Hello, everyone. Alongside Craig Cox, Joey Lindstrom with you. These two teams are ready for action tonight, Craig. How they got here? North Putnam defeated Carroll, who went on to win the consolation earlier today, 62-39 in the opening round. They then dropped their semifinal game in the closing seconds against Northside, and they did have a chance at the end but couldn't get that ball to fall to take that victory. On the opposite side earlier today, Tipton defeated Western, and we find ourselves with a good matchup. Two teams who really sparked themselves in that opening round, falling in the semifinals. We're going to have a great matchup.
No, it is. I mean, it was one that has a lot of parallels. Both in terms of records, a little bit of personnel as well. You got two relatively young coaches in Vincent Brooks in his fifth year. Obviously has his culture kind of established, but Cameron Bennington being in his first year at the school, second overall. So these are two coaches that are certainly still trying to get their culture going. Obviously, speaking of situation, obviously with having Northside getting in to the championship, winning by one. That we'll see here in the second game. But always a tough one to lose if you're on Putnam's side here playing in this game, but always one that you want to be in a position to win.
Let's break these two teams down. You mentioned Cameron Bennington. His first season came over from Winnemac High School. Last coach who was here at Western was Michael Lewis. He's there for 6 seasons. Last year they fell in the sectional semis to Twin Lakes, and they have a star in the making with Logan Nelson, their senior, number 20.
No, he's one that can certainly put up, numbers in terms of bunches. Pretty balanced player, got decent size, can hit you inside and outside, and one that Coach Bennington relies on quite a bit. I think the true success of their season will be what is the support around him that he can get.
On the opposite side with North Putnam, Vince Brooks in his 5th season. He has not had a losing season yet. Last year, this team lost in the sectional final to Park Heritage. They've had good seasons under their belt. They're 3-6 right now. Maybe a little bit of an early, maybe some Christmas cookie hangover, right? But this is a team that's ready for a resurgence, and this might be able to put them on that road.
It is, and it's 1-2. We talked about their personnel being much and alike. Coach Brooks has one in Nolan Hackelman that is not one that maybe consistently throws up great numbers every night, but he's one that can hurt you on any night. Obviously had one that game earlier this year where he scored 40, so he can score in bunches as well, and certainly looking for a good one. I think out of these two, Western is one that has probably been a little bit more battle-tested.
After our national anthem, we will return to action here at Clinton Central. Be right back.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Colleges and universities are always actively looking for highly targeted and effective ways of reaching high school students and their families. Imagine your informational message being displayed in full color on courtesy charging stations placed throughout the high schools of your choice. Our mobile charging stations provide your college or university with a continuous flow of traffic to those who benefit from your message the most. High traffic areas like the cafeteria, commons, multimedia rooms, and concessions make the perfect places to reach a receptive and captive audience. Advertise to your alumni of tomorrow by getting plugged in today. At JM Marketing, your audience awaits.
And we welcome you back inside Clinton Central High School. The third place matchup here at the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. Incoming right here on ISC Sports Network. There are your starters for the North Putnam Cougars. We mentioned Nolan Hackelman. He had 30 points of North Putnam's 44, and they lost to Northview on December 15th. So just to your point, Greg, before the break, they can light it up and load it up with a couple key players. Caden Helderman also one of those key players that Vince Brooks relies on. This team pretty much upperclassmen all across the board. On the other side, you get a Western team ready for action. 3-7 coming into tonight's matchup. We mentioned Logan Nelson. Carter Biggs is another player to watch for that will come off the bench. Excuse me, he is the starter. He's their starting point guard tonight. You also have Hudson Biggs, his brother. Really, it's a matchups game constantly in Indiana high school basketball. And you feel like Western, just given the size, you look at the roster sheet here, they feel like they would have an advantage in the rebounding category. Maybe it comes down to that.
Well, it does, and then I think the other thing is you can prep all you can or all you want, but a lot of times it boils down to who's, more the tactician and making in-game adjustments and adapting to what the other team throws at you. As we mentioned, this is a Western team that comes in that's probably a little bit more battle-tested after starting off their season with Kokomo, already have played in Tipton, likes of Twin Lakes, who's had great success in recent years, along with Rossville. So really a pretty competitive schedule to this point.
Especially that Kokomo team. You really give yourself a good litmus test when you're playing the number 6 in the ESPN 100 in Flory Badunga.
Yeah, and you'll see him tomorrow right here on the ISC Network and the Hall of Fame Classic.
And we are off and running in the third place game. And a quick shot here from North Putnam does not go, and Western will run the ball up. A couple keys for you in this one today, Craig.
Well, I think a lot of it is playing to the pillars of your program in terms of the ball movement and the spacing. I think it'll be these are not teams that are real transitional teams. So I think, again, it's going to come down to how well you can combat what the other team is throwing at you.
North Putnam lining up in man-to-man. This is a general look they had earlier today against Northside Lions. Lowering the shoulder and getting the strong bucket is Hudson Biggs. Normally averages 7.5 per game. And he gets Western on the board to start.
I'll get some good downhill attacks here in terms of trying to collapse the defense.
There is Hackelman, fouled on the way up. He'll shoot 2.
Well, again, that's what you want to do as far as getting downhill, getting into your guy, making him defend, trying to make the next level of defense play you in terms of the help, and this time didn't get it, continued his attack to draw the foul.
It's a North Putnam team that hails in sectional 44.
They're also playing out of the Western Indiana Conference at the 2A level.
They definitely go through the gauntlet when it comes to their sectional play as Ackerman knocks down the first. You have Greencastle, Park Heritage, Southmont, South Putnam, Cloverdale, Riverton Park not having the best season so far, but all those aforementioned teams at or above 500 so far this season.
No, it is. It's a loaded sectional at that.
Rebound by Hackelman. And the Cougars trying to compound on their lead.
A lot of dribble drive action that you're seeing here in terms of the weave. And typically the best way to defend this is what they're doing now here in terms of the automatic switching with the three.
Good rebound and put back from Isaac Pickle.
Well, and he's their big, coming in at 6'6", just a sophomore. Coach Brooks will have him around here for a few more years, but great job on the putback.
Trying to answer was Sam Thurston. Yeah, when you have that size down low, but you have a guy who's pretty young, you're going to have to lean into that experience as Hackelman tries for the bucket, and he'll go to the line for his second trip in 2 minutes.
I see this here on the replay, just doing what he's getting to again as the first few possessions, getting downhill and making that help come, and if they don't commit, he's doing a good job of really attacking the basket. Doesn't get his third one down, was hit his first two, and here getting ready to shoot his fourth.
You need somebody who's an enforcer when you're playing these types of games, especially when you've already played a game earlier today. Now, I know these kids could probably, they could play AAU during the offseason. They could probably go for 3 games a day maybe. But especially when you have somebody who can be that energy bug, that could be big. In and out from Sam Thurston. Cougars are on the run again.
Well, the key to this, too, in defending this dribble drive or the dribble weave, if you will, is really your help side's got to hedge high as we get a good, nice look at a three here. Can't get it to drop. But you want to hedge him to the sidelines and not let him get downhill.
Good drive and finish from Aiden Quillen.
You know, those are ones that get you on them from a coaching perspective when they get that deep in the lane and just giving up more of an uncontested layup.
Western hails from Rushville, Indiana, just southwest of Kokomo. Class 3A, sectional 22. Rushville, excuse me.
And they're playing out of the Hoosier East Conference. Just south of Kokomo. Doing a good job here. I mean, what you want to obviously being able to defend this again is keeping them outside the lane, outside the paint, keeping them from those high percentage shots. But this type of offense is what you're seeing in North Putt now. It creates and has to have you have patience in playing for your shot.
Hackelman again, finishing strong.
Well, he's certainly one that has shown that he doesn't mind the contacts in terms of him attacking, but he's also showing there his ability to play through the contact.
And a great finish there from Carter Biggs. What we expect maybe from him, 10 points a game.
Well, he figured his brother was on the board. He better get on there pretty quick too, right?
Anything you can do, I can do better kind of thing, I'm sure, with those two. Fun being able to play with your brother. Hackelman from deep, and he's feeling it now.
Well, when you can score 80% of your team's points halfway through the quarter, sets up well. Showing a little bit of the outside game as well. Both teams attacking really nice. Looks like Carter Biggs there on the and one. Didn't see the officials call to see who it might have been, but nonetheless, it is a scored basket for Carter as they'll be at the line shooting one.
It'll be Isaac Pickle on the foul.
And both these the Biggs brothers, shouldn't say big, but Biggs, will both be back next year. This one here, in terms of Carter knocking down, this one is just a sophomore, and Brother Hudson a junior.
In that first round game, Biggs had 14 points against Clint. Excuse me. North Putnam working through. Barber leans in, and a foul to follow, this time on Aiden Quillen.
Well, and everything was really good in terms of him hedging, not opening the hips too much, really channeling him more outside of the lane. But then once he got back down on the crab dribble, then kind of relinquished more of his upright position and drawing the foul. Obviously, first one not going here by Barber. Stands and waits here on the second.
Free throws always important, Craig, excuse me. And there's definitely a chance for, there's definitely an argument for making your free throws early, right? And then it comes to crunch time, and when you might be prepared for those moments.
Well, and this
as
is
you move along.
Yeah, and this thing too with the new free throw changing this year in terms of the one-on-one being gone. Most are already well aware of that. Those that aren't, again, on the fifth foul instead of the seventh, you get 2 shots instead of the one-on-one as we get a 3 knocked down here by Quillen.
Yeah,
he's
that
got
was big.
5 now.
Big time from Aiden Quillen, and that puts Western ahead of North Putnam. Both defenses striking in this man-to-man look. 3 to follow from North Putnam. Doesn't go. That was Brogan Woodall.
And again, these are 2 teams that will look to transition when they can, but it's not any great strength of either team where transition is a big part of what they do. But it's very good to obviously be able to stop that ball to limit their transitional points.
Amari Sutton with the hustle play after the miss. All for naught. It's a turnover. Well, so far early, back and forth we go. A little bit of a tug of war here in the third place game.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of balance. Both teams hitting a few outside shots, but the majority of what both teams have been doing is doing what we see right here, and that is getting down the lane, just as we see none other than Nolan Hackelman doing once again.
That's 10 points in the first quarter for Nolan Hackelman. 3 to answer off the front iron. Maybe just what North Putnam needed. Good transition and a bucket. Brogan Woodall knocks down the triple and forces a timeout from Cameron Bennington.
Get our first break in the action here, and the largest lead at that.
16-12 we stand. Hey, subscribe to ISC Sports Network for the best in semi-pro, college, and high school sports in Indiana and beyond. We're your home for the best live high school football coverage in Indiana and the best live basketball coverage. We have thousands of games in our archive from around the state. Subscribe today for just $4.99 per month at iscsportsnetwork.com. Also brought to you by Indy Card Exchange. Now, for more than 30 years, the Indy Card Exchange has been your trusted source for buying and selling trading cards of all kinds. And they're refining the game of professional grading with consultation services to save you time and money. Go to IndyCardExchange.com for more information and to see how you can make money off of your collection. Well, it has been a force for North Putnam in the form of Nolan Hackelman. But you get this bucket, and then you get the one to follow to force the timeout from Western. And, Greg, they seem to have found a little system here in the last couple possessions.
Well, it is. I think the big adjustment that you got to look at Western needing to make in terms of just not so much on the switching, what they're doing with the dribble weave, but more so just how they're approaching that and where they need to channel their guys to alleviate those downhill attacks.
Aiden Quillen, the leading scorer for Western. He's got 5 points so far. This is Biggs underneath, and he'll be fouled by Jalen Windmiller.
Again, that's just the second foul on North Putt.
Quillen to the hoop. Count the bucket.
Well, both these teams are doing a really good job, Joey, of actually attacking what the defensive look is, which I love. I love seeing teams play the percentages. Continue to get in a flow, create the tempo, not tempo, but create what they're doing in terms of the fluidity of their offense. Take what the defense gives you. And then once the defense starts collapsing on that, then you're setting yourself up for kicks for threes. I think there's a lot of teams will just try to build from the outside in. That's one thing. It's a great benefit with the three, but it's also can be a big deterrent as well.
That's what a lot of coaches might tell us, too. We want to be able to build inside and out. If we can get a dribble drive to kick out, possibly get that three, that might be more advantageous than try to take it to the rack every time just for the two.
It is, and it's a way also, a way that the new rule is and the points of attack in terms of increasing your free throw attempts as well.
In and out from Grayson Miller.
Yeah, that's like their third one that they've had that's almost looked like it's been down and then out.
Hackelman, nice move.
He's showing his ability again to play through that contact. But I like certainly the no call there. Don't think it was enough to warrant a foul, but great job of the physicality for Hackelman.
And a nice move to follow there. Grayson Miller again.
Both teams with 4 players scoring for each of their respective teams. And that's one thing you want to see, especially early on, where you can find some balance. Obviously, much harder to guard, to defend, prepare for when there's more than 1 or even 2 guys that can get you buckets. So really good job early on here in this first quarter.
Yeah, you'll take a good spread of scoring from each of your players, but at the same time, you'd love to have a guy like Nolan Hackelman doing the work that he has with 12 points in the first quarter as we get our second timeout of the game. Endeavor Communications offers a variety of internet speeds that fits your family or business needs. Surf the internet faster than ever before with internet speeds up to a gig. Contact us at weendeavor.com for more information. (18-16) tight game for third place in the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. These teams started play yesterday. Carroll went on earlier today to defeat Clinton Prairie in the consolation ladder. And later tonight, we will have the championship game between Northside Lions and Tipton for you. That ought to be a good one. Northside Lions 15-3, Tipton undefeated at 9-0.
Well, it's one thing I was talking to our producer, Sean, before our opening set, is, the Northside Lions being a homeschool program, they've already played almost what is an IHSA schedule in terms of regular season. And that's what you get with a lot of homeschool teams is they already have about 18 games that they've played. They'll play about 35 to 40. And these kids have been playing together in their homeschool programs a lot of times, since first and second grade. So you talk about the familiarity and how I play off of you, and everything about my game. And I think it's reciprocal. And so that's what drives a lot of the success of these homeschool programs.
Hackelman fouled as he goes up. And he will try to get to 13 or 14 before we end our first quarter. Oh, there's no doubt. When you're able to kind of control your schedule, give yourself as many games as you can, because these kids love playing, obviously. And then to follow that, you can also really get yourself into a groove offensively, defensively, and just get to know your team faster when you're playing so much.
No, without question. It is a great advantage. And then you got, on the other side, it's certainly always about the players, but you talk about Cliff Hawkins with Tipton, and he's approaching, won't get it this year, but next year he'll be coaching in his 1,000th game. He's already amassed about 960.
First quarter done. North Putnam leads. We'll be right back after the break.
Hey there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
Derek, do you know what we do not have in common with Ted Lasso?
What's that, Jake?
We made it beyond 3 seasons.
Oh, we're going to make it like 30, 40, 50 seasons. As long as your heart holds out, that is. Query and Schultz every Tuesday night. You can watch it right here on the ISC Sports Network, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, podcast, whatever it is. Just call it whatever you want.
Twitter doesn't exist.
Just make sure Tuesday nights, Query and Schultz, 7:30, all season long, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We outlasted Twitter.
He did.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Welcome you back to the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. Great to be with you for our tournament tonight in the third place game between Western and North Putnam. Excitement all around and an excellent tournament that has been around for quite some time, Craig, and it continues to be excellent. We're going to crown a new champion, a never-before-seen champion in the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament tonight.
Yeah, I think the two leaders, might add, is not only the host Clinton Central, but also the rival Clinton Prairie, both with 17,
right?
As we were told earlier today. But it's exciting, though. I mean, there's a changing of the guard, if you will, and certainly be exciting for the program and their community here tonight.
Oh, Clinton Central, 17 titles. That has to have been fun over the years to continue to host and win those championship games in your tourney.
Oh, it is, and there's a lot of local teams, not only Clinton Central, Clinton Prairie, but you got Rossville and Tri. I mean, there's just a lot of teams that are right around this area. Tipton, Western, kind of coming from that same area geographically as well. So really neat what the school, the community, and the athletic director is doing here.
Hudson Biggs kicks out. Amari Sutton tries for the rebound off of Aiden Quillen's three. He had 7 in that first quarter. Leading scorer for the game was Nolan Hackelman. Finished with 12 in that first quarter. And you said it during the break, he's on pace for 48, so you better keep going.
Yeah, it'd be hard to keep up that pace. But that's the thing I think that what Western has to look at doing is trying to make somebody else make some plays and see how well his support cast can just do that, and that is supporting.
This is Pickle up top. And the big sophomore kicks out, and a long three is good from Brady Barber. His first points of the game, and Western compounds on its lead. North Putnam compounds on its lead over Western. And an answer? No, Amari Sutton with a big board underneath. And to Biggs. 4 points for Hudson Biggs. That's kind of the pace we've had. Western hasn't been able to keep up too much with the three-pointers that North Putnam has leveled out, but this has also been the offense of Nolan Hackelman.
Yeah, it has. I mean, they've showed their ability. Really nice up and under move here by Pickle, getting his own rebound. They've shown some good balance. I mean, early on it was more dribble weave, get downhill. If I'm not getting twos, I'm getting some at the charity stripe, but they've hit 3 threes as well, so they showed their ability to hit the balance. One thing I like at the other end that just took place with Western is by Hudson Biggs in terms of on the rebound, Karam that was passed back out to him, instead of taking the extra 2 dribbles and getting into the defense, work the mid-range game. It's really a lost art because there's so much focus on the 3 now and not getting the over-penetration into the bigger guys.
Putnam back on the run. Hackelman. This is to Barber along the baseline, and this will stay with the Cougars. Last year, North Putnam went all the way to the sectional final, fell to Park Heritage. They lost their semifinal game here today within the last 5 seconds. Had a shot at the end with a chance to win it, and it didn't fall. They find themselves battling in the third place game against Western now. And over in the back and back for Matt Farrington and North Putnam, but they're going to discuss if maybe that was touched there by Grayson Miller.
Yeah, it was, and that's it's a little surprising that that ball got deflected, but nonetheless they called it a timeline violation, or over and back. But yeah, it's one, even on the last move with Pickle, like to see him be able to square his hip more and kind of load to explode.
Biggs underneath to Sutton, and the second foul for Isaac Pickle.
Yeah, one that they got to, Coach Brooks certainly needs to have him in there to leverage their height with that. You had him defended. Don't bail him out by that. Just catching that point if you're not going to side front and defend him when he's off the block.
And a three falls for Grayson Miller.
Well, both these teams, Joey, are showing their ability to hit the threes as well. Both have three, and here we're going to get another deep one that we get here coming up short from Hilderman.
Miller has 5 points tonight. Low to Sutton. Physical bucket. Amari Sutton.
That big fella getting it down low. Yeah. You say in football, as you know of, play to the whistle. Well, in basketball, if I don't hear one, we keep playing too. So he did the right thing and turned to finish in the play.
Foul by Grayson Miller to foul. And when you can have an enforcer like that, we talked about enforcing and imposing your will with points scored. Maybe a little physicality can help ignite your team. And now Western finds themselves tied back with North Putnam.
I believe the biggest lead was 4, if not 5, but have locked it back up here.
Ackelman, and he'll go to the line for a chance to make it 3.
That his ability to not only get the ball down there, but be able to finish. So he's got a real eye for attacking the basket, and we've mentioned before playing through the contact, which is going to be his fifth free throw that he's shot to this point. Ball going to Western here. I do have to mention here just an aesthetic standpoint. I love instead of the paint on the floor, I love the stain.
Yeah.
Really gives a great look, keeping the grain of the hardwood, but really nice looking gym floor here. So shout out to the athletic department there at Clinton Central.
And they have the Butler Bulldog logo.
There you go. you got to throw that in there. There's not the navy blue or blue 3 trip.
Yeah, it's just black, so they played it clean. But I like the CC plus the dog there in the back. Clever, well done by Clinton Central, and I agree on the paint with the stain rather. Yeah. Huge bucket from Sam Pickle. Isaac Pickle, excuse me. I'll go to the line for another.
Well, it's what you want out of your big. You get the ball that deep, you want him to be able to finish. Kind of took him off his line a little bit. But both those two were okay there. Pickle down on the ground with Sutton coming down on top of him. They've had a couple chances here, back-to-back possessions to knock down an and one, and missed on the conversions of the free throw.
Those things can come back to haunt you. See if Western pulls something out of its sleeve. Maybe another three from Miller, but no, it's wide. And North Putnam will take back over. The North Putnam team, we mentioned it earlier, Vince Brooks in his 5th season, no losing seasons for the coach. They had a year 500 3 seasons ago, 16-16, went to the sectional final and lost that year, 2019. It felt like for his team that going into this tournament with a losing record, they win that first game, they fall in the second. Of course, we already mentioned it, losing in the final seconds. You could be staring at 4 and 5. There sometimes feels like a big difference between 4 and 5 and 3 and 6, but we're still in the beginning of the season, really.
Well, and I mean, you talk about football being games of inches, and you can really say much in the same a lot of times about basketball, whether it's seconds and shots. But, at the end of the day, I mean, what you want to do is it's better to be in that position where you place your team and your teammates in positions to be in a position to win, as opposed to being down 10 or 12 there at the end as well. So great fight, and them coming up a little short, and I'm sure they'll get the turn of the tape on some of these other times they're in that position.
Miller from 3. Biggs tried to get the putback off the rebound, and a foul to follow. North Putnam has fallen back into his zone for the first time today. underneath, and Logan Nelson will go to the line. There's 3 players, all with parts of their hair bleached. Grayson Miller, Aiden Quillen, and now Logan Nelson.
Quite observant there.
I wonder if that was
Mr. Lindstrom.
a team bonding experience. I never did the bleach. I did the bullets in college with some of my teammates for football. But it was, man, I never bleach. It turns orange, you know, and it's never good.
I get you. Well, I got to probably tell on myself, but from a different era and decades, because I remember back before your times, you probably knew where you had tails. And you grew like a little bitty small tail on the back and bleach the back. That was back in the 80s.
Little rat tail?
Yeah, back in the 1900s, you know, back in those days, right?
Yeah, the 1900s. I love it. Ackelman, floater doesn't go, gets his own rebound, and the putback falls.
He's getting it done tonight. I'll tell you, still with 2.5 to play and pushing towards 20 at half.
He's got only 1 3-pointer. The rest of the buckets that he's had tonight have all been inside what would be, I guess, the painted arc inside the paint. Sutton, in and out. Western bravely continuing to shoot the 3. North Putnam, another 3 falls. This time from Chase Barber. Caden Helderman.
That's his first basket of the night with the 3. 4th one for the team, and then you got somebody says, "Hey, I got something to answer back at you." Couldn't quite see who it was, but we'll certainly get it to you.
I believe that was Grayson Miller.
Okay.
That was
Seacree, I think.
Yep, Seacree,
yeah,
that's
Seacree,
right.
Yep.
Enters off the bench and makes an instant impact. Sutton. And in and out of the hands of Seacree. And a turnover here. So this is the biggest margin North Putnam has had for this game so far.
And we'll be shooting the rest of the way for this last minute and a half both ways, where
Hackelman 4 points in this quarter. He's got 16 overall. 22 in blue has been lighting up the scoreboard tonight. Minute 15 to go in our first half. In our 3rd place game. Northside and Tipton later tonight. Tipton undefeated. And North Putnam continues to enforce. This time, Nolan Hackelman again.
now we got 19 on the night.
And a 9-point lead for North Putnam. Helderman. Hackelman got his pocket picked. Nelson. That falls on the ground.
We'll be having shots. They're in the bonus here. That should be no, that's on the 4th foul. I'm sorry, I was looking at the 4 on the timeout, so that's my error, but we'll be shooting here on the next one.
That's your 1.
There you go. That's all I get.
I had a biff earlier.
Short string.
Miller. And North Putnam still hanging out in this zone. Nelson from 3. Got it.
Pretty looking shot too, though. Great stepping into a shot and great follow through. As we see some of the first kind of full court pressure that we've seen throughout the night as well.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, we think about sometimes with high school basketball, especially with teams that are normally defensive, it's the race to 40, right? We might get there in this first half, possibly. But both these teams really trying for the 3 ball, really trying to push the pace. Not to say either team is not good defensively. This is clearly a matchup of teams that are well primed for good defense. It's just that the shooting has been on another level in this first half.
Yeah, it has. Both of them scoring 4s and 5s respectively from outside. I think both of them certainly got to shore up probably at halftime on how they're going to defend to take away some of these percentage baskets that both of them are getting, as Woodall knocks down his 2 free throws here.
And he's got 5 in the first half. Sutton Baby hook doesn't go. Rebound by Windmiller. And that's how we end our first half. Craig Cox, your first half initial thoughts.
Well, I think a lot of it is what I just indicated there. I think here at halftime, I think both coaches need to be looking at how we cut down on the percentage chances. Both of them, if you look at points in the paint, have been pretty high if you look at a shot chart. Both teams have had pretty good balance, but I think the ability of either team to either it's North Putnam sustaining this lead or Western coming back is going to be really indicative on how they continue to help and cut down the percentage shots.
Coming up at halftime, we will have our breakdown of our first half. After a brief commercial break, you are watching the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament third place game on ISC Sports Network.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Colleges and universities are always actively looking for highly targeted and effective ways of reaching high school students and their families. Imagine your informational message being displayed in full color on courtesy charging stations placed throughout the high schools of your choice. Our mobile charging stations provide your college or university with a continuous flow of traffic to those who benefit from your message the most. High traffic areas like the cafeteria, commons, multimedia rooms, and concessions make the perfect places to reach a receptive and captive audience. Advertise to your alumni of tomorrow by getting plugged in today. At JM Marketing, your audience awaits.
Some of these kids can't make the free throws.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think they were 60. Yeah, 60. Western this year. Yeah, they have. Early on, North Butt shot pretty good.
Living up to that last day.
3 or 4, certainly those critical ones on those and ones.
So that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby. Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Hey there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
Derek, do you know what we do not have in common with Ted Lasso?
What's that, Jake?
We made it beyond 3 seasons.
Oh, we're going to make it like 30, 40, 50 seasons. As long as your heart holds out, that is. Query and Schultz every Tuesday night. You can watch it right here on the ISC Sports Network, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, podcast, whatever it is. Just call it whatever you want.
Twitter doesn't exist.
Just make sure Tuesday nights, Query and Schultz, 7:30, all season long right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We outlasted Twitter.
We did.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Rondell Sims is a successful entrepreneur and beloved grandpa, in part because he's responsive and attentive. That also just happens to be what he looks for in a financial partner. And when it comes to his bank, Rondell is a farmer.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Welcome you back to Clinton Central Holiday Tournament, the third place game, halftime, right here at Clinton Central. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. North Putnam holds the lead 37-29 over Western. Craig, it felt like both these teams were trying for the three-pointer in that first half. have to shore up a little bit defensively. Nolan Hackelman was really the story like we thought he was going to be. He had 19 in that first half.
Well, he's one that we talked about earlier. You know, had 30 earlier in a game, and he's going to score the more of the bunches of their team's totals, as he's shown that here tonight. You know, the team's success is only going to be as good as what does the rest of his support staff do. But we're getting out of Nolan what we thought we would see, and he certainly has provided. I think that on the other side, Western has to figure out how can they limit those looks for him and make somebody else, or see if somebody else can pick up the rest of the balance.
There's been quite a spread of scoring on the Western side. You don't have any players above 10. Aiden Quillen has the leading scoring category right now at 7. They have to lean on Logan Nelson a little bit in this second half. I mean, average is 17.5 per game.
Well, it's 1-2 that, I mean, yeah, they got to get him certainly some more looks, only having 3 there, and it was off 1 basket with a 3 itself. And so I think it's one of those things that you got to get your guy, you know, more looks, more opportunities, maybe institute some ball screens to try to free him up. Toughest thing in basketball to defend. So I think it's those types of things, or those types of looks, that they got to look to get back to.
Later tonight, we'll have the Northside Lions facing off against Tipton Blue Devils for the championship game in the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. A new champion in this tournament will be crowned. Catch that right here at 8 Eastern, right here on ISC Sports Network. Last thing that you want to mention, too, with this game we have right here, we mentioned Vince Brooks, no losing seasons. They have been in this tournament year over year. This would be a huge game to win if you're third place, because it could really springboard your season. We talked a little bit about that in the first half. Maybe if you're on the Western side, you haven't had as many winning seasons. Cameron Bennington's in his first season. This will be a big stepping stone for this team as they go along in the season.
Well, it is. I mean, we talked about earlier in the opening segment. I mean, this is a team that has played the likes of 6th-ranked national in Kokomo in the very first game. You know, they've also played Tipton, who we'll see in the second game, who's undefeated, being led by a long-tenured coach in Cliff Hawkins. You know, played Rossville. So they've really had a tough schedule for one. But, you know, when you're in these holiday tournaments, the thing that it's doing to you is, you know, you've kind of figured out what your personnel is as a coach. You kind of look at teammates, what we have in terms of our identity and play into our culture. And then now these holiday tournaments just kind of give you some games while you're out of school where, you know, you don't have the books to focus on per se. It's just basketball, and how it can springboard, Joey, like you said, of what the second half of your season looks like and what's probably going to be more conference play.
There's certainly a lot to like about both these teams, too, for what can really propel them. And, of course, everybody makes the tournament, so it's going to feel like they could be maybe some dangerous opponents to fare with, depending on your sectional.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that it does for you. It gives you a feel like what a sectional will be, is playing 2 or 3 games, you know, in 2 days.
Second half of action coming on the way back right here on ISC Sports Network. Third place game.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Colleges and universities are always actively looking for highly targeted and effective ways of reaching high school students and their families. Imagine your informational message being displayed in full color on courtesy charging stations placed throughout the high schools of your choice. Our mobile charging stations provide your college or university with a continuous flow of traffic to those who benefit from your message the most. High traffic areas like the cafeteria, commons, multimedia rooms, and concessions make the perfect places to reach a receptive and captive audience. Advertise to your alumni of tomorrow by getting plugged in today. At JM Marketing, your audience awaits.
Former WNBA star Katie Douglas Poe is now the owner of fitness franchises that help people get healthier and more active. And even though she comes from the world of elite athletics, Katie's favorite customers are the ones pursuing modest goals. We're proud to provide her with that same kind of personal support and individual attention to her finances, which is why, when it comes to her banking, Katie is a farmer. The Farmers Bank. Let's grow.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. we see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Welcome back to the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament third place game alongside Craig Cox, Joey Lindstrom with you. And we are set for the second half of action. North Putnam holds the lead. It was their largest of the half.
These are always good defining moments sometimes on how what can dictate a second half is certainly coming out here in the second half to see what halftime adjustments coaches have made, whether it's personnel or schemes. So we'll see what takes place here at the start of the third.
We mentioned Logan Nelson at the break because he was our player to watch on the Western side. He only has 3 points so far. He ought to be an impact player in this second half. Is Caden Helderman. Working hard against Carter Biggs. Helderman from deep.
Good block out.
Had the open look. Yep, good rebound there from Amari Sutton. Biggs from 3 off the front iron. Here's Nolan Hackelman at 19 in that first half.
Well, they might have heard you at the break where you're talking about both teams and maybe not putting up as many threes as we see them do, but the first 2 possessions, or first possession of each team, threes.
And a huge block from Isaac Pickle, the 6'6 sophomore rising up. Barber to Hackelman. Yeah, there's no doubt we might have called it the wrong way. Both teams trying to light it up from beyond. Each team only made 4 3-pointers in that first half. Nelson still trying to find his mark. And I go back to North Putnam. Maybe some keys to the second half for each side. What are you thinking, Craig?
Well, I think, again, I mean, their ability to cut down on the percentage shots. And what I'd like to see both these teams do, and you haven't seen a lot of it, and I'm just going to talk about it, and Pickle sets one, and that's the ball screen. Another 3 that comes up short there for Helderman. But that and then working the mid-range game. I'm just a firm believer in working inside out, that you saw a lot of attack in the basket, but more of the mid-range game, especially just coming out from being at half, kind of getting to a flow and getting in sync and creating a rhythm.
Hudson Biggs from 3 gets Western's first bucket of the second half.
Cuts it to 5. The largest lead, if I'm not mistaken, might have been 8.
Caden Helderman off to Isaac Pickle. We saw this in the first half, first few possessions for North Putnam. Little 3-man weave. It's Hackelman to the rack. Gets a default with a chance for 3.
Well, and this is his 3rd attempt at an and one. Had one early on, and then a little bit past midway of the second quarter, and then getting one here early. So again, just his ability to show and illustrate how he can play through the contact is really big. You know, one thing that I certainly saw on Hudson Biggs in terms of you're going to be in this dribble weave, you got to be in a position where you're, Pickle on the dribble weave is you got to make sure as we get Sutton interior pass here in the paint going up strong, and Pickle getting called for the foul and the attempted block. But on the other end, if you're running this dribble weave, as we see a replay, nice find, love the court vision or basket vision to see somebody closer. But yeah, going back to the dribble weave in terms of being in a position, if you're in that, the only way you can really make that effective is continuing to make your dribble until then. What you don't want to do is pick that dribble up, and then everybody's denying hard, and it just makes it a lot tougher to be effective with that.
Amari Sutton knocks down his second.
Gets them both.
And he's got 4 for the contest.
Not sure what the call might have been, but there obviously was one. I think it was more maybe in the paint on the defense of a post player.
Up to Pickle. Little baby hook, and gets the friendly roll. He's got 6.
The last foul was on Hudson Biggs.
Carter Biggs swings it. Aiden Quillen had 7 in the first half. Underneath to Hudson Biggs. He's got 9 to lead all the Western scorers.
Well, and that's he's already outscored his first 4 points. He got 5 in the second with a 3 and a 2, but none other than Hackelman kind of really beginning where he started here in the second half as he did of the game.
Season high of 30 earlier this month against Northview. He's got 23. And Biggs will go to the line off the foul from Windmiller. One thing to be mindful of if you're North Putnam, Isaac Pickle with 3 fouls. That's Windmiller's second.
Well, and you know, bringing an interesting thing there, Joey, is as far as not only with 3, but still on the floor. So we'll see how they might attack him. He's got not only a lot of height, but got great length in terms of the added piece to that wingspan as well.
Seven-point lead for North Putnam. The Cougars eyeing the possible third-place finish. Lost in the semifinals in the final seconds. That chance at the end to win that one against Northside. Beat Carroll, who was the eventual consolation champion. There's Brady Barber.
Really good job here by, and this is the thing that you do, as much as it is patience when you're actually being forced to make the extra pass, but one that, you know, Western did a great job of staying dug in there in terms of holding to what their defense was doing in terms of forcing the penetration out of the lane.
Carter Biggs doesn't get it to foul on the floor.
No shots coming here, but great job of attacking, just getting them closer to that bonus. A little downhill attack. Great job of using his body here, too. Saw the defensive player in Barber kind of retreating backwards and just got into him, which is always going to be a foul on the defense.
Brady Barber's first. North Putnam ought to be mindful as well about their fouls. Coming up just the third quarter. Biggs gets it to go.
Great little hesitation, really attack, pause, go right back at him, kind of keep your defense at bay there and really getting a good job of finishing at the rim.
It's a good defensive possession on the last go there for Western. North Putnam had been throwing that ball around, trying to find an open space. They seem to be doing much the same in this possession here.
Well, and the thing is, too, that the difference that I've seen in the last 2, and you can make this one the third, is a much better perimeter defense and not letting them get as deep into the lane, what we talked about at halftime for those percentage shots.
This is Isaac Pickle's 4th foul by our count on the over-the-back against Amari Sutton. So Amari Sutton giving some trouble to North Putnam's Isaac Pickle.
Well, and if you can have a guy that's on the outside that can do some things, you know, and stretch you to get you more on the perimeter, but also he's a guy that's a wide body as well that can do some things down low as well. Would anticipate Pickle with 4 probably being on the floor till about 5 minutes to go in the fourth.
Oh, what a move.
Step back.
That was a Hezzy Hay. That was a C.J. McCollum tribute right there. Big time from Carter Biggs. He's got 9 to match his brother. What did we say earlier? Anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, right.
North Putnam. That one rattles off the front iron off of Christian Kramer.
Well, and this thing too, Joey, you talk about as we hit the step back here, freeze him up, and then great, line awareness in terms of the three-point line too. But the thing as a coach, you really talk about, hey, what do we look like in getting back-to-back stops? They've had 3 now, and they've converted on 2 of those 3. So doing a great job there and closing this gap to 1 possession and could take the lead with this.
It was a 9-2 run. It is a 9-2 run so far for Western over the last few minutes. Carter Biggs comes up with the huge steal and follows it up with a great transition bucket. He reaches double digits, and we're tied.
Well, one that you got to try to stop a little of the bleeding, and who do you go to do that? Nolan Ackelman in terms of trying to stop that.
He's got 25 of the 45 points for North Putnam tonight. Underneath, Hudson Biggs.
A little bit of the pace picking up here too, Joey. I mean, in terms of, you see the tempo after made baskets really getting pushes.
Yeah, all of a sudden these teams have awakened. Sutton can't handle it. Baby hook goes.
Big boy showing the soft touch. Gotta like that.
A shot of espresso in the third quarter for both these teams. Seemingly after that Carter Biggs bucket and the step back.
Well, in both of these teams, not only with the pace as we get Hackleman with the 3.
He is unreal.
But we're also, again, both of these teams at this point of the game scoring at a higher level than they do too. I mean, you're in a position where Western's only averaging like 56 points a game, 55 to be exact. And they're almost to that at the end of the third.
Good transition idea. Hackleman's got 28. That was only his second three-pointer.
Yeah, got so many early on, Joey, in terms of the downhill attack. Had 10 in the first quarter. He said he was on pace for 40. Or no, he had 12
for 48,
in the first quarter.
yeah,
He said
it's
48. And, he's really still not too far off that. But certainly has a good chance at this rate that he's going to be in the upper 30s.
Aiden Quillen picked Windmiller's pocket. And it appears Western is comfortable to hold for the last shot of the third quarter. 1 point game as we stand right now.
Let's see if we can get one of the bigs making a big play.
Carter Biggs off on that one.
Let me down. Had some good looks, though, both by the Biggs brothers, and Carter and Hudson both really doing a lot in this half as they've scored 13 of their 17 points.
Farrington tosses it up, and that is how we end our third quarter. So a good comeback from the Western Panthers. Down by just 1 at the end of 3. Fourth quarter in our third place game on the way back right here on ISC Sports Network.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Back here, fourth quarter of action in the third place game of the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. Brought to you by Endeavor Communications, offering a variety of internet speeds that fit your family or business needs. Surf the internet faster than ever before with internet speeds up to a gigabyte. Contact us at weendeavor.com for more information. Getting set here for our fourth quarter. Western down by 1 to North Putnam. A tight game in the semis for North Putnam earlier as Biggs gets the bucket to fall. And Western takes the lead after that big conversion. He's got 13.
Well, what a great way to showing the love, family and brotherly love out there as Carter passing to his older brother Hudson here. But great find. Love the downhill attack in terms of the baseline. But what you do off the ball, and Hudson showed that by attacking the basket with a cut.
Hackelman fouled on the floor, so it won't count the bucket. He's one basket away from tying his season high of 30. Barber, good shot fake, little runner, gets the rebound. He's the team's leading rebounder a season ago. And gets a big one here.
I was a little surprised by seeing Pickle back in the game this early with 4 fouls. See how Western might try to attack him, especially now that you got Hudson Biggs really playing a lot better down low. Still seeing the switching from Western.
Underneath, Pickle, stolen away.
Yeah, nice job there by Pickle actually with the cut, just as we saw Biggs, but got the steal.
Might be able to come back to that one. Sam Thurston with a big poke away on that one. Biggs, why not? 17 for Hudson Biggs. 5 in this fourth quarter. He had 6 in the third.
13 here in the second half. Kind of showing a little bit of his game as we saw Hackelman there in dual quarters in the first half.
Yeah, I misspoke. He had 8 in that third quarter. Big plays out of the Biggs brothers.
You know, and they're doing all this too, Joey, without their leading scorer. He's got 3 right now, and so Logan Nelson, still a very instrumental player for this Western team. But you got to love it when other guys are getting it done. As we get a 3 here for the first points of his game tonight, and Sam Thurston.
Yeah, huge bucket from Sam Thurston.
Again, we're getting it in different areas that you're getting it outside of Nelson. So great job by the support cast here as they get a turnover as well.
Yeah, Western continues to build on its largest lead of the game. It's been largely in control by North Putnam. They led 37-29 at half. Western wins that third quarter 18-11, forces a timeout from North Putnam here. So to give us a chance to tell you about IndyCard Exchange, now for more than 30 years, the IndyCard Exchange has been your trusted source for buying and selling trading cards of all kinds. And they are refining the game of professional grading with consultation services to save you time and money. Go to IndyCardExchange.com for more information and to see how you can make money off of your collection. Also brought to you, of course, by ISC Sports Network. Subscribe to ISC Sports Network for the best in semi-pro, college, and high school sports in Indiana and beyond. Your home for the best live high school basketball coverage in central Indiana. We have thousands of games in our archive from around the state. Subscribe today for just $4.99 per month at ISCSportsNetwork.com. Well, if you're just joining us, Western has far exceeded their own maybe expectations for this second half and has exploded in the second 16 minutes so far. Craig, how have they done it? Get us up to speed.
Well, a lot of it is just the support cast. They're getting it from different guys, as we just talked about. But the bigger thing I think that's really happened here in the second half is we talked about, what can be indicative of what the second half plays out is the adjustments at halftime. I think defensively from the perimeter, they've really closed down a lot of the downhill attacks that North Putnam was able to get, especially in the first corner, mainly by Hackelman. Has been a lot of that. And then I think you've had Hudson Biggs has really picked it up and got a hot hand not only inside off the ball, but also knocking down some threes.
There certainly feels like the air was just shifted in the building here at Clinton Central High School, and Western took over. Both these teams just 3 wins on the season. Now to Quillen. Doesn't go. Now if you're North Putnam, you have Hackelman bearing most of the load here, and he almost tied his season high with that bucket. You want, of course, some dispersion maybe across your scoring sheet, and they haven't been able to get that in the second half.
Well, and I think a lot of it plays into that, Joey, is what is the other guys off of the ball when Hackelman has the ball, as you actually have Carter Biggs getting 2 more, is again, what are you doing off of the ball? What's your movement? How are you trailing his penetration? How are you cutting off of the ball to make yourself an accessible contributor that he can find? I mean, what can't happen with any team for that matter, but what we've seen North Putt do here in the second half has become a little bit more stagnant. You can see on the replay here he's getting downhill, but the other 4 guys are just standing. You got to play off the ball. Weak side guys got to trail to the place of where he originated his penetration from for a point of release. Got to have the low guy cut back door, weak side of the ball. It keeps the defense position where they got to play honest.
There's a feeling for North Putnam. You just have to be able to get a bucket to fall, and you're right back in this thing. Down 10, largest lead of the game for Western. Wood Miller loses the handle on it thanks to Carter Biggs. Sleight of hand, and this will stay with the Cougars.
Well, you can't fault Windmiller here for trying to do something with the ball, but you got to make your move. If you're not getting any point of advancement to increase your percentage of scoring after a few dribbles, you either got to make your move or move the ball. And I think that's a situation to where he's got to get in the 3 look here, coming up short. You play 2 for the best percentage chance. If that happens to be a 3, then you play that. But when you still got a lot of time left, and a game can change really quick, you still got to play for your best percentage shot right now and what the defense gives you. You're not at a place right now where you have to shoot 3s, but you'll take them when you can get them.
3 here from Nelson doesn't go. Halfway through our 4th quarter. Hackelman trying to get North Putnam back within single digits of reach.
Yeah, they've gone cold in terms of shooting. And then again, as we talked about before the last timeout, was Western's just made some great adjustments and really picked up the pace defensively in terms of their ball pressure.
Carter Biggs, he's definitely playing a little more confidently in this second half too. You can tell in the way with his gait how he's moving with the basketball.
A little bit of swagger.
Quillen from 3. Sutton, good board over top. No over the back foul. It's going to stay with Western, or will it? That does appear to be an over the back foul now that after some deliberation.
Yeah, I'm sure if we saw Coach Brooks in our screen there, we probably would have saw the same thing on the over the back call. But it wasn't called. Nonetheless, it worked out. North Putt gets here as well. Again, you're still in a position where you're playing for your best shot. You get inside 2.5, maybe closer to 2, and then you got to start thinking definitely 3s.
Well, the Biggs brothers have certainly come up that way. This is Hudson Biggs getting out there, just hustling all around. In this second half, it just feels like there's a little more sizzle for Western.
Well, and they had not only the better balance in terms of the first half. I mean, they had 7 scorers, to North Putt's 4 or 5. And then here in the second half, you've certainly had a few more as well.
Certainly that balance does keep you afloat sometimes versus having maybe all your points funneling to one player. Nolan Hackelman still leads the game with 28, of course. Hudson Biggs second in scoring in the game with 17.
Yeah, it's Western has 9 guys in the scoring column, where North Putt has 5.
And as a sophomore, Carter Biggs, an impressive player on the court, and he's also been voted a captain this season by his teammates.
And I think the biggest
That's pretty impressive for a young player.
I was just going to say, as a sophomore at that. I mean, usually, you got to be somewhat of an upperclassman. Sometimes that'll come a little bit, maybe with the position you're playing in terms of point guard, being that floor general, looking for you to lead us, get in our sets. But there's more to it than just that. It's certainly kind of a rite of passage in terms of upperclassmen a lot of times. And so that shows not only great confidence and trust by his teammates to be able to kind of give him the keys to the car, so to speak.
Brady Barber, takes a tough fall at the end of that play. Hudson Biggs with the foul. And Barber will go to the line to shoot 2.
I guess shooting foul. Time here, and both teams, as much as we, again, talked about Pickle being with 4 fouls earlier, but in terms of the team fouls, have done a pretty good job here in this quarter.
Coming up at 8 Eastern, likely sharply at 8, Northside Lions and Tipton for the championship game here at Clinton Central. North Putnam back within single digits. Just their second point of the fourth quarter.
A good decision here by Hudson getting a timeout here, but be in a position where he could have continued to get downhill and attack his guy one-on-one. Defense kind of had him at a place of cutoff, but instead of kind of going there, he didn't have any offensive rebounds, backing out, thinking about clock and possession there and using that as their 6th man.
Certainly a sense, and we talked about this at halftime, if you're Western, this could be a tournament third place finish, could really propel your team. You start to figure out what you're good at. Clearly, they're a team that if they play from behind, they don't mind that. Maybe that's a little bit actually an extra swagger, a little pep in your step because, hey, we have to go prove something in the second half. They clearly have done that against a good North Putnam team.
No, they have. Great point, Joey. I mean, it's not only the adjustments at halftime, but the bigger thing you got to get, as a coach, you can make those adjustments. But what do you have to do to have those adjustments work is you have to have buy-in and you have to have execution, and they certainly have displayed that here in the second half with this Western personnel. You see the Tipton Blue Devils back there in your background, the blue and white candy stripes.
Getting ready.
Prepared. They're coming in undefeated.
Love a good.
Here at 8 o'clock.
I love a good candy stripe.
There you go. There's not a lot of them around.
Little IU tribute there. I mean, I think I've seen, I don't know, it's got to be in the teens amount of high school teams that pay tribute to the IU pinstripes.
Yeah, you'll see it certainly more at high school. I don't know that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know that I've seen another college program do it, or have it for that matter, but I'm sure that there's one out there.
So Western exceeds their total against Tipton earlier today. Lost that game 69-57. We're through 58-49 here, and another timeout.
I've had a 17-point swing since half. I mean, they were down 8, now up 9. Big turn of events, and a lot of it, again, if you're just tuning in, has been one that early on, North Putt really kind of came out in the onset, got up by 7 or 8 a couple different times. That was what it was at half. And then just a lot of great adjustments, good defensive pressure in a different way than what they showed in the first half. And so some strong shooting and even more balanced scoring has led to this big turnaround, now being up 9.
I can set the precedent. Now, if you're on the opposite side in Vince Brooks, this is, if you fall in this game, you fall to 3-7. And certainly the way that he's coached in the past, if they've fallen early in the season, they've been able to really get back on their feet, move into winning seasons. No losing seasons underneath the tutelage of Vince Brooks. Last year, 16 wins and 10 losses, and fell in the sectional final. So good success for this North Putnam program. They do have quite a few upperclassmen, especially in their starting lineup, but a lot of sophomores, a sophomore-laden bench, if you will. So certainly want to continue to build that program. But by no means is this a possible rebuild year, right? This is a team that has a lot of veterans on it. They can make a good run here for the rest of the regular season.
They do. I mean, you're talking about, 2 juniors and 3 seniors, so there's a lot of experience that they have in terms of what they come into their games. So it's one that, you not only have experience, but you got a coach in his 5th year who's kind of established what not only the season looks like, but what does that off season look like, and you kind of know what to expect. And so there's a good amount of experience that he brings to this, and like you say, Joey, I mean, one that is coming off of a team that barely missed going to regionals last year.
Especially at sectional 44, you got a good host of teams in there. Greencastle, Park Heritage, South Putnam, who North Putnam has already played to open the season.
Yeah, and they'll see 3 of those teams sectional opponents here in the second half of the season.
Amari Sutton takes the charge.
That last free throw by Hudson Biggs gives him 14 in the second half, 18 for the game. So really has had a solid second half here.
And that will retire Hackelman. He's got 4, so at least for now.
End up with 28 for the night. Very solid effort, but certainly kudos to Western and the job that they did in the second half. 19 in the first half and only 9 in the second.
Yeah, you want to be able to tame the beast. Halftime adjustments certainly worked for Cameron Bennington's team. And hats off to our officiating crew tonight. Hudson Biggs come up big tonight. 17 points to lead all Western scorers. We expected Logan Nelson, and Hudson Biggs averaging 7.5 per game. Far exceeded his normal expectation as we fall under 2 minutes. He'll go to the line to shoot. Actually has 18. I forgot about his free throw from his last effort there at the stripe. And give a shout out as well to our cameraman Elijah Mash, our producer and director Sean Walker for bringing you action tonight in the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament all day today. These guys have been grinding. And of course Casey Walker, our graphics operator, has done an excellent job. Sean's just glad to have her around so he doesn't get in trouble.
That's it. Biggs coming up with his 20th point. Hit 3 free throws there in a row. Solid night for the Biggs family.
And gets another rebound to follow. And number 1 and number 33 have shown out on their effort. Western gets to 61.
Well, these are the type of numbers too, when, even though you've got a minute and a half to go, but when you can score north of 60, you run a pretty good opportunity to win a fair amount of high school games. And when you can keep your opponents to under the low 50s or even under 50, you're at a place where that also bodes well for you to be pretty successful.
Certainly a numbers game towards the end.
It is, and these are the types of things, again, we talked about it earlier, is that this gives you opportunities to where you're playing 2 or 3 games in a couple days, kind of like a sectional type format. It allows you to fine-tune things as you head into what's probably going to be more of your conference games in the bulk of the season, and you kind of establish what you're playing to and through. You obviously hope that you can remain healthy as we get the first one knocked down by Woodall. But yeah, I mean, it's a great way to go into the new year and make those adjustments and try to gear up for what can be a good March run.
Nelson was keen to that one off the play there from Caden Halderman. And another foul there for Brogan Woodall. So North Putnam's continuing to send players to the line. Still down 11. You never know what might happen in this final 112.
Yeah, and this is a Western team that doesn't shoot it bad by any means, shooting 68% from the line as a team. Your benchmark or threshold is always wanting to be plus 70 on the high school level, so they're right there at it. Misses here on the first, and see if he can get the second as he does.
Quillen has 8 on the night.
That's his first points here of the second half.
He hit a couple shots early in that first half that felt like he was going to be forced to be reckoned with.
Well, and we talked about this earlier, how they had 8 guys score in the first half, but there's been less balance of scoring as we get a little and one here opportunity for North Putnam.
Yeah, Matt Farrington.
But yeah, I mean they haven't had the balance here in the second half. Western hasn't that they had in the first, but what they have had is the ones that have scored. It's been more in bulk, and it's mainly been by the two Biggs brothers who scored about 80% of their points here in the second half.
Playing hard to the end, and Matt Farrington knocks it down for the three-point play. He's got 4 on the day. Trying to get this one away, and fouling Sam Thurston was Farrington.
Thurston's 4th point of the game. First free throw knocked down for him. Let's see if he can get this second one to go.
And he does. Could that be the dagger? Cougars continuing to hustle.
I think the official saved that one.
A little bit of help there. Woodall's 3 doesn't go.
That may do it. I don't know if they'll still foul here or not. Being down 11 might let it run out.
I think they will. Still playing hard, and that is a foul. Logan Nelson will go to the line.
Nelson, as Joey, as you mentioned earlier, is our leading scorer at 17 a game, and at this point, getting ready to shoot this free throw with 16 seconds to go, only has a 3 ball, and but those are great signs. Scorers sometimes are going to have these nights. Sometimes it has to be other guys' nights, and he's deferred in moments for his teammates. His teammates have responded, and they're going to be a better team because of it.
There's no doubt. When you can share the wealth, that'll certainly help, and you can get big nights out of everybody, really, including maybe the Hudson Biggs and a Carter Biggs, Aiden Quillen as well. This Western team is definitely loaded for a prominent run, and 3A is going to be tough. We know this about Class 3A. You mentioned playing the likes of Kokomo and Tipton earlier this season, and they lost to Tipton earlier today, so that's your second time playing a 3A power who's undefeated and playing for the championship game of this tournament. You get your wits about you, you'll be all right if you're Western.
You do. And obviously Sutton knocking down this one. They're in sectional 22 with Benton Central, West Lafayette, and of course Twin Lakes.
Yeah, Twin Lakes, very good.
And so competitive sectional that they have there as well.
Sutton knocks down both. Finished with 8 points on the night. Amari Sutton had a few physical buckets too. Barber for 3 to finish out. Doesn't fall, and Western claims the 3rd place title in the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. Craig, your final thoughts from this one?
Well, again, as we mentioned before, I think that you didn't see as many adjustments from North Putnam. I thought that they settled a little bit more for the three than they did in their early success in terms of attacking the basket. But I think you got to give kudos to not only the team that won, but how they won in the adjustments they made in the execution of the defensive pressure and getting great balance in their scoring.
The Western Panthers claim the third place title, get their fourth win of the season over North Putnam. Hats off to the Cougars on a great tournament run. And the final 67-53. So for Elijah Mash, our cameraman, for Sean Walker, our producer and director, for Casey Walker, our graphics director, I'm Joey Lindstrom, saying so long for the final. Western 67, North Putnam 53. Our first place game between Northside and Tipton starting promptly in about 15 minutes. We'll see you right here on ISC Sports Network.
Wabash has the lead for the first time today. So that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby. Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
It is time for the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament Championship between the Northside Lions and Tipton Blue Devils right here on ISC Sports Network. Hello, everyone. So good to be with you alongside Craig Cox, Joey Lindstrom in the booth, and we are ready for what should be a highly contested ball game. You see the records up there. Tipton has not lost a game this season. Northside has played twice as many games as the Blue Devils, so they feel it's a little bit of seasoning mixed with a great appetizer of a season so far for Tipton, Craig, and we ought to see a good matchup between these two.
No, I think without question. I mean, there's obviously some uncertainty on how Northside Homeschool Lions can fare against an extremely competitive, strong, traditional program like Tipton has, but they showed that in terms of playing one this morning with Fountain Central. These are two teams that have so many parallels alike, which we'll talk about here momentarily. But I must say, when you're talking about appetizers and sprinkling stuff, we got a Pizza King across the street. Thinking about the food as well, but we got a great one here to bring to your living room here tonight.
Certainly so. So Northside Lions are coached by Greg Carnes, and Tipton coached by Cliff Hawkins. Both these teams set for what should be great seasons and feeling like they have all the momentum. You mentioned the similarities and touched on that. We can get into those right now. Both sides really have a three-headed monster. I like the way you put that pregame, so I'll steal that from you now. And you can look to Greg Carnes' team first. Joey Heaston, you look at Landon Carnes, and Duke Carnes. He had 8 3-pointers in the semifinal game earlier today against North Putnam to finish that one and win by 1 to get themselves into the championship game.
No, it is. I mean, you talk about the three guys. They're averaging 59 points a game through that. You can get 59 production and get 10 or 12 else. You're in your 70s. You're going to win most of your high school basketball games. So they're very solid. They're sound fundamentally. A lot of these kids, not only from a standpoint of schedule and playing a lot of games, but a lot of these kids have been playing together almost their entire life in the homeschool system.
And that certainly can help your contributions to just becoming more and more like each other with your teammates. It builds some camaraderie. On the opposite side for Tipton, Cliff Hawkins, 72 wins in his career at Tipton, 570 across his career over 43 seasons. They're number 10 in Indiana, and they have everything in front of them. Have not lost a game yet. They are led by a few prolific scorers, mostly Nolan Swan with almost 20 points per game, Grady Carpenter, and Jackson Money.
No, yeah, I mean, as much as the Northside Lions have it with 59 with their 3, Tipton has it with their 3 with 50 points a game. We talked about these two teams are shooting identically from three-point land behind the arc at 41%. Tipton shoots at 53 from the field. Northside shoots at 50. Both of these teams take care of the ball. Tipton only averaging 9 turnovers a game. You can keep anything south of 12 turnovers a game on the high school level. You're maximizing your possessions. And then any time that you can actually be involved with a game with a coach that's been coaching for 43 years, it's quite amazing. This Coach Hawkins has almost amassed close to 1,000 games that he's coached. So he's had stops at DeKalb and Center Grove and Madison and North Miami. So just a pillar in terms of the coaching fraternity in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, he's become storied and likened with the coaching lore of Indiana high school basketball history. Tonight's officials, Kevin Fetterman, Terry Magnuson, and Thomas Boyd for our championship match here at Clinton Central. How'd these teams get here? Well, North Putnam had defeated Carroll and then lost to Northside. Northside defeated them on a go-ahead shot by Ben Heaston. We mentioned Joey Heaston, the brother, a 2,000-point scorer. But Ben Heaston, his little brother, the junior, hits that go-ahead shot to defeat North Putnam. And for Tipton, defeated Clinton Prairie in that first round and then beat Western to get to this point tonight. And they are set to go here at Clinton Central. Last year, Tipton had lost in the regional. It won sectional 39 in Class 2A, 18-7. For the Noblesville Homeschool Northside Lions, they compete in the Midwest Christian Homeschool South Division. And a team that does not play many IHSAA teams, not eligible for the IHSAA tournament, a team that will still give a lot of these IHSAA teams a run for their money. And likely going to be the story tonight against Tipton. They would love nothing more than a fast start in this one, Craig.
Well, it is. I mean, and anytime you're in a situation like you are with Northside and not having a lot of opportunities to play IHSAA teams as they have here in this tournament, there's nothing more than they want to come out and show that great ball can be played at the homeschool level and coming out to compete in this way, and not only against an IHSAA team, but a traditional type program led by an iconic coach can certainly just create great volumes for them in the remainder of their season, along with their separate tournament.
It'll be Grady Carpenter and Duke Carnes.
A lot of blue blood out there.
Oh, yeah. We're blue all across the court tonight at Clinton Central High School. Tipton getting started right away with a big bucket early from Jackson Money.
Well, no better way than for somebody with the last name Money to start off the scoring for our championship game.
A little muddle full court press here to start for Tipton as well. Certainly like to start hot. Only 2 games this year have been won by 10 or less. They have been dominating teams. They had a 65-61 win over Delta earlier this month, a 47-42 win against Frankfurt on the 1st of December. They beat Clinton Prairie by 30 in the first round. Lofted attempt there for Duke Carnes, and he works the baby hook to tie the game.
Well, this is a guy that hit a plethora, is what we'll call it, of threes in the morning game with 8 this morning.
Good diction. 3 attempt goes for Nolan Swan.
Well, both teams coming out nice, where you're getting the deep ball and a layup on the Tipton side. Getting a little half-court trapping pressure here. Certainly this will get you a little bit more uncomfortable in your offensive set, but I guess certainly not for Northside as we get a bomb from Heston that comes up short.
Kicked out. Would have been part of that large 41% from 3. That one doesn't go. And the foul by Northside. Can't fall either. Money on the run and a huge block from Duke Carnes. Those kind of plays can help propel your team.
Well, Heston has already showed you that he not only maybe has the green light, but will pull from deep, and he was getting ready to pull there too as a little downhill attack. Love the little pull up. What a great look there by Joey Heston. Great job of just getting down. I love that too in terms of downhill, getting your defender retreating on his back foot and just stop and pop.
And that was smooth too. Underneath. Over top, Money lets it fall. Early goings, Jackson Money 4 out of the 7 points for the Blue Devils. Came out donning the pinstripes in the warm-ups. Deep 3, second try, doesn't go for Joey Heston. Easton, excuse me.
I probably got you on the wrong path there, so we apologize for
I'll forgive you.
mispronouncing at the beginning, but Easton, it is. Showing some good out the gate, a little good perimeter defense.
In and out for Nolan Swan at the big 3 earlier. And this Northside team, 15 wins under its belt so far. Playing twice as many games in the month of December. That can really get yourself into a groove, find what you're good at. And speaking of that, how about Landon Carnes loading it up from 3?
Well, and we already talked about it. The ability to shoot the 3, but the range that they're shooting from as well can certainly stretch your defense and create some more holes for penetration too.
Both these teams are willing and able to load it up from 3 and just fill up the score box.
Well, and that's the thing, is that if you're a dual threat team and you can have the good ability to shoot the deep ball, it does open up so much more for the dribble drive as well, because it creates the penetration gaps when you can stretch the defense, even if you can pull with the bigs.
Jackson Money again. He's got some quick triggers on his shot. He's just a smooth player. 6-foot senior. Opportunistic, and there he is again. Now it's Tipton on the run. A little Euro and finish for Grady Carpenter enter the score sheet.
Well, and that's what you want in terms of your type of defensive pressure to do, is turn it into transition points or quicker pieces. What it does to your defense or your opponent is getting you out of your comfort zone, trying to start your offense in a much higher position can really get you out of sync.
Good movement here from Northside, and they finish with a 3. Landon Carnes.
Well, and that's the thing that will kill any type of pressure that you get. Any type of success to offense is always a 3-point attack. It's got to start with spacing, and then you're thinking about ball movement and player movement. What's happening off of the ball with your personnel? You got to travel. Yeah. So, yeah, and did a great job on that last possession of not only moving the ball but shifting it from one side to the other and getting more ball reversal, if you will. But when you're off the ball, setting your feet ready to shoot will be key.
Large part of both these teams' success is ball movement. This one off the toe there of Cam Brunk. Easton thought about it. Back over to Brunk. Good movement from Northside. Brunk, spin around. Doesn't go. Grady Carpenter with the rebound. Both teams averaging over 65 points a game. Duke Carnes rises up for the block. Not terribly tall for the junior, Duke Carnes. That's his second block today.
Getting it downhill, as we see on the replay. Did a good job of getting downhill, making the help come. But just got to do a little bit better job of court vision and finding, but he gets it back here in terms of getting the 2. Again, we talked about, both these teams having the 3-headed monster. Tipton bringing 3 guys in, averaging 50. Northside Lions have 3 guys averaging 59. So they can get you in multiple ways as we get a foul going the other way here on Northside. But, yeah, we talked about it in the first game, Joey, when you can throw different guys at a team and at a coach for preparation, it not only impacts you in terms of how you prepare, but it also impacts what type of adjustments you have to make if one of those guys is down and somebody else is covering it, or you're having to cover those 3.
Got to find Carpenter underneath. That was Nolan Swan, and Tipton continuing to spread this ball around. Northside in a kind of a muddled zone. Finding Landon Spidel.
The other thing, stat line, Joey, that was really jumped out at me as well is how both these teams have shared the ball with each other. Northside's coming in where they're averaging 21 assists. It's really kind of unprecedented a lot on the high school level. And then Tipton's close to 20. Great movement there, reading the defense as we got Spidel getting his first 2 of the game. But, yeah, sharing the ball is so key. No one deflecting my own to allow others to not only get theirs, but knowing that there's more than 1 or more than 2 on this team that can do it.
The moving screen or legal pick?
That, or I couldn't tell if it was more offensive with the extension of the arm.
I believe you're right.
One of the 2, but we did get an offensive. And they're creating some of the things, some type of defensive presence that probably maybe Northside hasn't seen to this point. And sometimes that can get you a little frustrated playing out of sync.
Good stroke there from Nolan Swan.
Yeah, pretty shot. Love the dribble drive pull up. The mid-range game, again, is one that's kind of been lost a little bit, not only in high school ball, but even in college as well. You'll see a lot of times over-penetration. Great read here, hitting with the back door off the overplay.
Got to be able to finish there if you're Northside. facing a 7-point deficit. Quick trigger from Nolan Swan. He's got 7 to lead all scorers. It forces a timeout from Northside. His second 3 of the day. And the second 3 of the day for Tipton. They're 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. An impressive boot so far.
And the
stroke
thing
from
that
Nolan
you love
Swan
there is Grady Carpenter again. Multiple guys throwing at you, but great job there by Grady of basket vision and being in a position where they got the head up and looking for the open guy. And cross-court pass at that, shifting the defense.
Subscribe to ISC Sports Network for the best in semi-pro, college, and high school sports in Indiana and beyond. We are your home for the best live high school basketball coverage in Central Indiana and have thousands of games in our archive from around the state. Subscribe today for just $4.99 a month at iscsportsnetwork.com. Tipton has built into a 10-point lead, a 7-0 run. Easton loading up from deep. That is his third attempt from nearly the volleyball line. Hasn't hit one yet. Swan underneath. Good find and finish. Gavin Hare.
Well, they're just imposing their will right now, hitting them from outside, finding the open man, hitting some in transition, doing some good things defensively, finding open men on the downhill attacks. And so it's coming at these Northside Lions in a lot of different areas, or ways, we should say. They're going to have a foul. Couldn't tell if it was on the penetration or away from the ball. But nonetheless, it'll retain here with Northside's ball.
Waning seconds. Easton gets blocked to finish the quarter. And Tipton erupted in the back half of our first quarter to the tune of a 22-10 lead after a 9-0 run. And that's how we end quarter number 1. Quarter number 2 coming on the way back. You're watching the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament Final on ISC Sports Network.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Former WNBA star Katie Douglas Poe is now the owner of fitness franchises that help people get healthier and more active. And even though she comes from the world of elite athletics, Katie's favorite customers are the ones pursuing modest goals. We're proud to provide her with that same kind of personal support and individual attention to her finances, which is why, when it comes to her banking, Katie is a farmer. The Farmers Bank. Let's grow.
Welcome back to Clinton Central High School alongside Craig Cox, Joey Lindstrom. So far, so good for the Tipton Blue Devils. 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, and a whole lot of buckets inside the paint to get themselves a 12-point lead over the Northside Lions in the championship game. Runk almost lost his footing, and Duke Carnes, who had 8 3-pointers in the semifinal earlier today, likely to come up big for this team at some point, and that one rims out. Jackson Money, perfect from the field so far. Just the second missed 3-pointer for Tipton.
And this is the Tipton team as well that comes in much like our last game with Westerners. We have a lot of experience, and all juniors and seniors, 3 and 2 respectively, and get downhills here as attack again by Carpenter. He's now got 6.
Little scoop from Grady Carpenter.
And it's one that we talked about how they're throwing different things at you, but there's different guys that can score. They're getting it in different ways. They're giving you exactly what you would expect. An experienced team with an extremely experienced coach. Is again and one opportunity here. Couldn't quite make out the.
That was Duke Carnes there.
Yep.
Opportunity to make it 3.
And exactly what you would expect a team like that, being led by a very experienced coach as well, being fundamentally sound, playing together, playing it the right way as he converts Duke Carnes the 3-point play.
Became a 1,000-point scorer as of December 17th. Averages 18 a game. Just a junior. Jackson Money, man, is he quick.
Yeah, what a solid move. Not only the downhill tack, but you know what I like more is the finish. Coming to a jump stop, load to explode, going straight up, and not running the risk of leaving off one foot and causing a charge.
He is just deceptively quick. I mean, he's got awesome bunnies.
6-foot senior.
Tipton doubled the points in Northside on the last possession. Out of the reach of Grady Carpenter. He corrals along the baseline, finding Money in the corner. And his first miss of the day, Carpenter corrals it and puts it back up.
Yeah, what a great Karen there. He's getting, snatching that up and then going right back up. Did a solid job of keeping the ball high with the high finish and not bringing it down to where one of the guards could have knocked it away.
Tipton is just playing with a different level of juice in this first half.
Well, and not only that, Joey, you got a 15-point lead. You'll show great character in a team when you get up. Sometimes you'll get teams that get a little sloppy. They're even ramping it up in terms of defensively. They haven't lost a step or a beat in terms of their intensity on the other end of the floor.
Easton to Brunk along the baseline. Little floater goes. Count the bucket.
Cam Brunk into the scoring column. Back-to-back possessions for 3-point tries. Really good job playing through that contact. We mentioned in the first game we had Western playing out of the Hoosier East Conference, which is what Tipton's in as well. So back-to-back games where we have two teams from the same conference, but different sectionals.
If you're Northside in this position here, what kind of things are you thinking about defensively if you're Greg Carnes?
Well, I think it's finding your comfort zone. I think to this point, they just got to play settled down. You can't allow what Tipton's throwing at you to change up what you do. You just got to play settled, play composed. Great find here by Carpenter, hitting his teammate there. Looks like Spidell for his second basket.
Yeah, Spidell's second time that he's been really the beneficiary of some nifty passing from this Tipton team.
Yeah, I mean they've dropped off on this press per se, but here you got to attack gaps. When you get these gaps, you got to attack them, force the help, look for the kicks or hit the back doors when you're getting that help. But you got to, like what we call, puncture the defense. Wherever those holes are at, get down in to the gut of that, make them pinch, and then look to kick. Got to try to create different things to get some more open looks, which I think early on it kind of got Northside out of their comfort zone in trying to deal with that more 1-2-2 half-court press.
Easton 1 of 6 from the field so far today. Knocks down both free throws, though. Still a 13-point deficit for Northside.
Well, and as great as Tipton has played to this point, I think, being down just a little north of 10 isn't too bad for Northside if they can get some stops. If you can get back-to-back stops and at least put yourself in a position to get at least 50% or both on scoring attempts, on those turnovers, then you're sitting much prettier at halftime.
After getting their own rebound, Easton throws that one up. Good board. Was it interfered with there by Grady Carpenter? A shot from Will Slagle. Regardless, it's tipped in ball.
Looks like we might get a carry. Yeah.
It sure does.
It's probably a call that at a lot of times, especially with the crossover, there's a lot of guys that will use, whether it's a hesitation dribble or a crossover, a lot of times they'll get more carries than not. But one that was a point of emphasis 5-6 years ago, but probably one of the ones that's more miscalled.
Stolen away by Swan. And the finish to follow.
Well, great job there by Nolan just playing the passing lane. There's two things with that. When you're the ball handler, you can't make that pass. You got to read the defense first. Secondly, as your teammate, when I'm being that much overplayed, you can't keep standing there. You got to cut back door.
And the turnover to follow on the inbound gives the Blue Devils the ball back. It's been all tipped in. We were at one point at 13-10.
Trying to double up the score here on a 2.
A 19-7 run from that point. Swan for 3, his third of the night.
And gets a layup and gets 3. Having a very nice night, but again, he's our leading scorer. 21, 4 rebounds, 4 assists a game. Solid player with solid stat lines, what you might expect out of your senior. Has 13 points here.
You can expect a lot out of most of the players on this Tipton starting lineup. Baseline, Easton gets blocked by Spidell. And stolen by Carpenter. Pick the pocket of Duke Carnes and a foul to follow from Carnes.
I think the defense of the ball pressure, I think, is something you can tell that Northside more than likely hasn't seen this type of ball pressure, and it's kind of got them a little flustered and almost pressing, if you will, and overcommitting. What a stroke.
Swan is letting it fly from 3. He's got 16 points, 4 of those from beyond 4 different times he's completed from beyond the arc. And a timeout forced from the Northside Lions gives us a chance to tell you about Indy Card Exchange. Now, for more than 30 years, the Indy Card Exchange has been your trusted source for buying and selling trading cards of all kinds. And they're refining the game of professional grading with consultation services to save you time and money. Go to IndyCardExchange.com for more info and to see how you can make money off of your collection. Also brought to you today by Endeavor Communications, offering a variety of internet speeds that fit your family or business needs. Surf the internet faster than ever before with internet speeds up to a gigabyte. Contact us at WeEndeavor.com for more info. So Tipton has seized the moment in this game. They are ensuring themselves a hefty lead with just 2 minutes to play in the first half. Northside has looked a bit out of sorts. They started the game pretty much in rhythm, it felt like, Craig. Really unable to go toe-to-toe right now with Tipton.
Well, I think the biggest thing is what we talked about is the defensive pressure from the Blue Devils. I mean, it's something that has certainly got the Lions outside of their comfort zone, and one that, at least to this point in the game, has had a hard time being able to handle and or adjust, see what they might be able to do here for just a little bit more than 2 quarters.
A 22-point lead. I'll send Easton Walker to the charity stripe. A new champion in this tournament will be crowned for the first time. Neither of these teams have made it to this championship in the occurrences that they've been invited. Clinton Prairie and Clinton Central, for the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament, both have 17 titles. Of course, that rivalry large in this area. Walker knocked down both. A turnover here from Tipton. Northside trying to work back into this. Down by 20, the largest deficit of the season so far, as Easton knocks it down. They've eclipsed 70 points 7 different times this season, 80 points twice. So we know they're able to do it. Just a matter of Tipton flat out dominating defensively in this first half. And can Northside start to answer?
And that's sometimes the things that'll get you. And when you're getting the pressure, you're playing kind of out of sync. You're trying to get what you can get, and it's not happening. It'll press you into taking shots maybe that you typically wouldn't take or might not want as a coach, and you start pressing. And it's hard to make these things up. So, again, it's not that these young men in this program can't hit the three, because they can. They've shown that. But I think it's one that you got to try to get back into the mid-range game, working the percentage shot, and work your way out, as we talked about in game one.
That's Duke Carnes' third foul, also the third team foul. So an impact player for this Northside team that they certainly want to conserve. He heads to the bench for likely the remainder of the first half. This one will stay with Tipton. Blue Devils last year 18-7 during the regular season, lost in the regional, winning sectional 39, and they seem to be in good form largely tonight because of Nolan Swan.
Yeah, and tough shot, strong finish there in between two defenders, and really going up strong, and what a great finish.
Good hustle and rebound there from Gavin Hare.
That last basket takes Swan to 18.
We're still early in the season, right? But you can really figure out things to build on, things that you're good at, and also things you need to shore up on that might be negatives to your team. Got plenty of time before February.
No, without question. And it's one that, they have a strong remaining schedule, and one that they'll be the odds-on favorite, come sectional time.
Brooks' last heave is short, and that will take us to the end of the first half. So, Craig, your first half impressions, Tipton storming out of the gate, 20-point lead.
Well, I think if you're Coach Hawkins, I think you certainly came out and executed exactly probably what your game plan, was going into this, and they have shot well, they've shared well, they've defended well, and they've had great ball security. So I think it's what we expected in terms of how they're playing.
Nolan Swan leads all scorers with 18, and Tipton with a healthy lead at half, 41-21 in the title game at the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. Coming back after the break of our halftime stats and highlights for you. You are watching the Clinton Central Holiday Tourney title game on ISC Sports Network.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Colleges and universities are always actively looking for highly targeted and effective ways of reaching high school students and their families. Imagine your informational message being displayed in full color on courtesy charging stations placed throughout the high schools of your choice. Our mobile charging stations provide your college or university with a continuous flow of traffic to those who benefit from your message the most. High traffic areas like the cafeteria, commons, multimedia rooms, and concessions make the perfect places to reach a receptive and captive audience. Advertise to your alumni of tomorrow by getting plugged in today. At JM Marketing, your audience awaits.
Still on his feet. Stevens lunges. Are you kidding me? Champions of Marion. Fish has the lead for the first time today. Said that was going to be a highlight reel. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Hey there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
Derek, do you know what we do not have in common with Ted Lasso?
What's that, Jake?
We made it beyond 3 seasons.
Oh, we're going to make it like 30, 40, 50 seasons. As long as your heart holds out, that is. Query and Schultz every Tuesday night. You can watch it right here on the ISC Sports Network, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, X, podcast, whatever it is. Just call it whatever you want.
Twitter doesn't exist.
Just make sure Tuesday nights, Query and Schultz, 7:30, all season long, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We outlasted Twitter.
We did.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Rondell Sims is a successful entrepreneur and beloved grandpa, in part because he's responsive and attentive. That also just happens to be what he looks for in a financial partner. And when it comes to his bank, Rondell is a farmer.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Halftime of Clinton Central Holiday Tournament in the championship game. The Tipton Blue Devils, undefeated coming into tonight, have handled the Northside Lions so far in the first half, 41-21, alongside Craig Cox, Joey Lindstrom. It was really, going into this game, we thought three-headed monster on both sides. Well, it's become kind of a five-headed monster for Tipton, getting it done on both ends of the floor.
Well, they have. I mean, it's been one. It's really been one-sided on all aspects of the game. I think that, again, both offensively, defensively, and just, playing to what appears what your game plan was and making your opponent very uncomfortable. And that's been very apparent. I love, too, the fact that we didn't have a halftime show, so kids just say we create our own, right?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I've so many
open floor.
So many small memories, just like going on the floor. I was always nervous to show off my jumper because I knew everybody else would be embarrassed for sure. That's why I was never shooting out there.
No, I love living free, but no, I think it's been one that what we talked about earlier in terms of what we expected. We were kind of unsure maybe so much what to expect. There hasn't been a lot of coverage that we've had for Northside Lions being a homeschool program, but I love that Clinton Central and the tournament directors, the ADs, had them in this. I think it gives great opportunity, and it's a great measuring stick for programs like this that don't normally get to play IHSA teams, so kudos to those involved. And also certainly to Coach Carnes of the willingness to want to do that and say, you know what, let's test these waters and see where we're at. And it's probably great preparation for their homeschool, not only state tournament, but national tournament as well. But I think it certainly has shown a sense of discomfort, that Northside has seen and experienced.
Well, you play against a team like Tipton, who clearly is one of the best in 2A. top 10 over the last couple of weeks in the coaches polls in 2A. It starts to feel like this is the best litmus test that you have. Maybe comparing yourself to one of the best 2A programs or a bottom half 3A program right now, and you could continue to improve. But more immediately in this second half, a key for them likely going to be just keeping up with the pace of what Tipton was laying out there.
Well, that for one, and then I think is how well I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the breakdown of any defense is going to be your inability to be able to sustain your guarding your yard. Whenever you're in a position where you're getting beaten, you're demanding help, and you got your opponent that's not only beating you, but they got multiple guys, it just puts you too much behind the fence. I think you got to be in a position where you're able to sustain guarding your yard and keeping your guy in front of you to where you don't demand help, and it really helps in a lot of ways.
We'll see what the halftime adjustments that were made and if they come to fruition in this second half of our championship game at the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. We'll be back here on ISC Sports Network.
Former WNBA star Katie Douglas Poe is now the owner of fitness franchises that help people get healthier and more active. And even though she comes from the world of elite athletics, Katie's favorite customers are the ones pursuing modest goals. We're proud to provide her with that same kind of personal support and individual attention to her finances, which is why, when it comes to her banking, Katie is a farmer. The Farmers Bank. Let's grow.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Colleges and universities are always actively looking for highly targeted and effective ways of reaching high school students and their families. Imagine your informational message being displayed in full color on courtesy charging stations placed throughout the high schools of your choice. Our mobile charging stations provide your college or university with a continuous flow of traffic to those who benefit from your message the most. High traffic areas like the cafeteria, commons, multimedia rooms, and concessions make the perfect places to reach a receptive and captive audience. Advertise to your alumni of tomorrow by getting plugged in today. At JM Marketing, your audience awaits.
Second half action coming your way right here on ISC Sports Network alongside Craig Cox, Joey Lindstrom, Tipton, and Northside. Set for the third quarter, and Tipton with a 20-point lead at half. So far, so good for the Blue Devils and Cliff Hawkins' squad. On the opposite side, Greg Harns, Josh Easton, and Jeff Wheeler. Coaching staff over there for Northside Lions. Leading scorer in that first half for the Lions was Joey Easton. He lofts that up to Duke Carnes, who gets the early bucket in the second half.
Well, it's almost looked like the very first possession of the game, but they didn't quite get it completed. But same play that was ran, but they scored here, and see if that can help get them a sense of comfort.
Jackson Money, he looked good in the first half. He's missed his last three. Not outdone by maybe the last three misses. He has just been really impressive on both sides of the floor. Number 23 in white. Duke Carnes, short. He has 3 fouls, so you got to be careful on the defensive end. But do you feel like feeding Duke Carnes the ball in this second half is going to be a key for Northside to get back in this thing?
Well, I think without question. I mean, he's certainly one that can not only score, but score in bunches in a hurry. He's very athletic. As we get a 3 put up here by Swan, coming up a bit short. But, yeah, I think, you know, we talked about the 3-headed monsters for both these teams, and Carnes is one of those for Northside that you got to get involved. You know, he showed it this morning, hitting 8 threes, so he's not only one that's comfortable outside, but he's a smooth guy that can attack the rim as well.
Carnes underneath, scoops it through.
That's just what we were talking about there. He's very comfortable with the ball in his hands. He's looking for one to kind of break you down off the dribble.
Carpenter had a good first half, opens his scoring in the second half with an and one opportunity, and he's at 10 points now.
I got a nice little look at this here. Just really good downhill attack. What I like there, too, in terms of when he changed his direction going between the legs, it was a straight line approach. You see so many times as he misses on the free throw here, but you see so many times at the points of attacks that sometimes they'll more what we call a banana out, where it's not, a straight line attack, is how quickly I can get to the basket.
That's Duke Carnes' fourth foul, by the way, as he launches from three. Rebounded by Ryan Tracy. Up ahead, Tipton moving along. Stolen away by Duke Carnes. That's an athlete in transition. He just kind of tosses that one up and it falls. He's in double digits now as well. Swan from deep. Money the rebound and the putback short. Foul on the floor. This time Sam Quigley.
The other thing to this, too, we didn't really so much highlight this at half, but, when you get down, with large, type of margins as such, it speaks volumes to how well your players and personnel can respond from playing behind. And it's not always, a lot of times you get caught up with the wins and losses. But, there's many times I know in all the years that I coached where some of our greatest wins could be in our losses, depending on how you played and what you were up against. This is certainly a situation where we get a three here. Was that Tracy?
Ryan Tracy, that's right.
Hitting his first points of the game. But, yeah, I mean, it's possible to get some good wins out of losses. This is a team that came in with the Northside Lions. We talked about playing an HSA team and a very solid one, as you talked about at half, Joey, and doing a great measuring stick. But it's one that again, there's great things that you can take from this as a program, as learning experiences and being able to grow.
Get a chance to hear from our sponsor, Indy Card Exchange. Now for more than 30 years, Indy Card Exchange has been your trusted source for buying and selling trading cards of all kinds. And they're refining the game of professional grading with consultation services to save you time and money. Go to IndyCardExchange.com for more info and to see how you can make money off of your collection. Also brought to you by the Farmers Bank. At the Farmers Bank, we like helping everyone grow. From business owners running multi-million-dollar companies to first-timers just opening a savings account. We draw on over 140 years of history to honor the principles of personal connection and individual attention that have been there since our founding in 1876. And that's why you don't have to be a farmer to be a farmer. So let's grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. There's certainly a lot to like about the way that both these teams play. And while Northside is down, they're a team that will score in bunches as well. They were 2 of 8 in the first half from 3-point from beyond the arc, and it felt like they really weren't able to get in a groove inside the arc as well. They've struggled from the field, but normally a team that shoots 50% from the field, generally speaking, they'll find themselves back level with water, or back at level water eventually, right?
Well, and I think the thing, too, is when you're looking like this when you're down, is you can't play the game in terms of what the 8-minute quarter is. You got to play it in 2-minute increments. Let's win the 2 minutes, and then whether you win or lose, what's the next 2 minutes? And I think you got to take it in segments. And when you can do that, I think when you can break the game down, it becomes more attainable than to try and look at the bigger picture.
Another deep three from Northside. That time taken by Landon Carnes, the senior. And the struggles from beyond the arc continue for this Lions squad. Carpenter kicks out in the corner. Tracy knocks it down.
Yeah, love the action there. Obviously starts by Grady Carpenter. Breakdown of D, demanding the help, looking and getting the kick, and obviously for Tracy spotting up. So really good action there on that last possession.
Slagle down to Brunk, underneath, count the bucket, and a chance for 3. Those are kind of physical plays you love to see, Craig.
No, it is. Strong downhill attack. Didn't shy away from that, as we'll see the replay here. Really goes up strong. Good, solid finish playing through the contact. See if we can convert the 3. Love how they're continuing to fight and play. You know, that's what you want. It plays huge dividends. Maybe not so much as the right now, but as their season progresses.
Still got a lot of season left to play. Swan again from deep. That's his first points of the second half. He's got 21 for the game.
Well, and he closed about the last 3 minutes of the second quarter without scoring too. So it's been a little bit, had a strong, very strong first quarter and beginning of second.
Catch and shoot, more like a just receive and shoot, right? Just handed that ball to Swan.
Well, you kind of got a little brush screen there too. It's a little handoff and running by him. Puts you in a position where you can really kind of aid your teammate there in getting an open look.
Mentioned this Tipton team handling their business so far this season. Only 2 games won by 10 or less points.
Brent converting the free throws.
That's a good conversion, at least from the free throw line. Northside has been handling their opportunities pretty well as that bucket falls for Grady Carpenter, and he can't miss.
Carpenter, solid numbers. Let's see the downhill attack here. Did a great job, too, here of court awareness in terms of going straight and up. Good defensive play by the Lions defender, staying more with vertical position, but having Carpenter go straight up to where he didn't get a charge was a very heads-up play. He's a junior, Grady Carpenter, 15, 7, and 9. Great stat line for Coach Hawkins and this Blue Devil program.
Underneath, Spidell, no.
He might have had saw a player get hit in the head. I gotta retain. We're actually going to be shooting. 5th foul.
Tipton not typically a team that fouls a lot. They'll carry teams into the bonus, but not very often. They're relatively clean.
Well, and that plays huge dividends. You don't put your opponent at the stripe to kind of get freebies, if you will. But again, this is a team that's fundamentally sound, has great ball security and averaging 9 turnovers a game, which is phenomenal at the high school level. And when you can add that to the discipline on the defensive end of not committing a lot of fouls, it just plays great parts to your program.
That's what Cliff Hawkins has built a lot of his programs on, is that discipline of being able to take care of the basketball. That's mainly priority number 1. 72 wins in his career so far at Tipton, only 33 losses.
Well, and it's a great tribute to him, but also a shout out to this personnel and these players, because it takes the buy-in to be able to execute that. And that's really the biggest difference in the parity that you have with teams as far as the ones that are average or above average or really elite, if you will, is the separation of ball security and the discipline of just defense, which can transform into offense.
Swan gets the free throw. That's 22 for the senior. And a miss there. Tipton working in transition. Swan scoops it.
Yeah, what a great finish. I mean, dribbling to the left and finishing with the inside hand on the right. So, very athletic move, showing you some of his abilities off the drive.
Carnes off the iron. Carpenter, full head of steam, and it gets the roll. He's got 14. 38 points between those two players, Nolan Swan and Grady Carpenter.
On the third-headed monster, kind of as we get a basket here by look like Carnes again.
Yep, Duke Carnes now with 12.
The other one that we have in that is Jackson Money, who's averaging 13-3, but he was the one that came out the gate and had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, their first 6 points. He's sitting on 8 now with the other two picking up the slack, but nonetheless, on a night like this, it's not so much coming as much into play as they've opened up their largest lead of the game here tonight with 26.
And he started 3 for 3 from the field. 90 seconds to play in our third quarter. Tipton well in control from the jump. Their closest lead was, of course, right in the beginning of the game, but after that, 13-10 was the closest Northside got when we got to double digits. 59-36. Stolen away. Carpenter loses the handle on it, favoring his left eye, and it's Easton Walker in transition, getting his first true bucket of the game. He's got 4. Final seconds waning. Swan throws it up. Easton for 3.
Not only for 3, might have been for
4.
For Lillard. It's like from Dame range, shooting from the volleyball lines.
Final 20 here in the third quarter.
These are scenarios, too, that, as you know, by seeing the score, it's not needed, but you're playing for something different. There are situational moments that, you know, other games you're playing in that you're not going to be in these. Probably not the shot that you wanted, but Grady Carpenter tells you it's one that I can knock down.
Yeah, he's got the hot hand. Him and Nolan Swan. It's an embarrassment of riches right now for Tipton. They've reached 62 at the end of the third quarter. They have a hefty lead over Northside. Fourth quarter coming back in the championship game.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Former WNBA star Katie Douglas Poe is now the owner of fitness franchises that help people get healthier and more active. And even though she comes from the world of elite athletics, Katie's favorite customers are the ones pursuing modest goals. We're proud to provide her with that same kind of personal support and individual attention to her finances, which is why, when it comes to her banking, Katie is a farmer. The Farmers Bank. Let's grow.
Welcome back to the championship fourth quarter here at Clinton Central. It's been a fun tournament thus far over the last 2 days, and Tipton is well in control in the championship game over the Northside Lions. Northside had some drama at the end of its semifinal game with the go-ahead bucket by Ben Heaston. With about 4 seconds left to play, North Putnam tried for a game-winning bucket at the end. And Northside squeaked into the final, deservedly so. But Tipton is the buzzsaw that Northside has run into today. And it's tough to play 2 games in one day. I know these kids play AAU or whatever, but you know, it could be, you're kind of waiting around a little bit all day. Your last game was at 11:45.
Yeah, you got to find a good place to go eat.
Yeah, find a Culver's
I
or
remember
something.
back, yeah, my younger days, you know, it was like, man, where can we find the buffets and go
Right.
eat and load up? It's like, yeah, we got a game to play.
And you don't want to, like, I know they could probably be all right, but you don't want to eat at like a pizza place or something where it's just sitting, right? You want to get something healthy. So Hopefully these guys have had good, ample time to rest. Quigley up to Nolan Swan. Tipton team has been well in system all game long. Showed up in the pinstripes today. They've been playing with all class as Grady Carpenter continues his reign. He's chasing Nolan Swan in the point totals. He's got 19.
Yeah, he's one that has been really impressed. It's my first opportunity, and it looks like, was that Carnes?
That was Landon Carnes, his third 3 of the day. He is 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. He is the only player that's made a 3 for Northside tonight.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to do one of Tipton's games last year, and I'll tell you, it's Carpenter was one that impressed me last year, but I've seen some great improvements in his game, and just seems even more comfortable with the balance of his game and points of attacks and pulling up on the 3. Just a really solid player. And I'll tell you, too, he's not only got decent height, but we talked about this earlier with Pickle, even though Pickle in the earlier game for North Putt was 6'6", but Carpenter's got great length on him.
He's a big that doesn't – he plays like a big, but he's not as big as maybe some other bigs they'll play.
That, and he shows great comfort on the perimeter, handling the ball and kind of getting them in their sets. Done a really nice job.
Underneath, trying to find Heaston.
Yeah,
Nolan Swan steals that one away. Jackson Money, little turnaround. That was a nifty move. Still hasn't found the bottom of the net in this second half. Out to Carpenter. Hot hand, keeps going. Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot.
He's the second player now in the 20s for them tonight, joining Swan.
Both teams have exceeded 70 points this year. Tipton is well on their way to that. They might hit 80.
Well, and they're a team that's coming into this game where they're averaging 66, which is still pretty decent, but which is breaking that now with still 5 minutes to go. But again, anything that's you're in the 60s, if you're pretty solid. You're north of 65s, you're really setting yourself up to be pretty successful a lot of times.
Carpenter to Tracy, and that one does not go for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, we talked about earlier too, just off the ball. They're at a point of attack, and the other 4 guys off the ball just aren't getting a lot of movement, which really plays in part for the defense to have the advantage. You get points of penetration, you got to have movement off the ball.
Easton out to Carnes. But along, Carnes has 4 fouls. Getting that 4th one at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Quigley again. Or Tracy, excuse me. Tough schedule coming up for Tipton. Playing a tough league, a tough sectional. Carnes with the bucket.
That's 10 here in the second half, and he's got 15 on the night. Yeah, you talk about the upcoming schedule that you got with Tipton, Maconaquah, Bethesda, but certainly just after the first of the year, you're talking about you got Shenandoah and Kokomo, obviously, later in the month in January. And again, this is a team as we get a 3 here by Swan, another one that is. But we'll go to 10-0 tonight, still staying without a blemish, without the loss on the schedule, and having a 2-month stretch going into sectional.
They will be similar to a lot of other teams. They'll have their hands full with Flory Badunga when Kokomo comes to town. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's obviously Hall of Fame Classic tomorrow taking place in Newcastle in the largest gym in the high school gym in the world for 10,000 there at Chrysler Arena, and you know, what a setup that the ISC network has for you, carrying both the girls and the boys tomorrow.
No doubt, all class with ISC, and it feels like the most prolific games in high school basketball.
Yeah, it'll be a great matchup when you got probably the favorite in Flory Badunga in Mr. Basketball, but Jack Benter, certainly probably from Brownstown Central,
right? Yeah,
is going to have something to say about that, because he's probably the next guy in line that's battling out for him. So what a tremendous scorer that he'll be.
That ought to be a fun one if they're able to meet in the championship there.
Yeah, it's and the two other teams, Attucks and Brownsburg, are the other two. So
good basketball all around.
Coming to tomorrow, all day long.
Swan, little spin around there. He's got 27. Northside hails from the Midwest Christian Homeschool South Division. Other teams in that conference, the Indianapolis Northwest Warriors, Indy Homeschool Wildcats, Cincinnati Trailblazers, and the Illinois Crusaders. And Northside 2-0 in league games this year to lead the conference.
Well, it's not only that you play, we talked about earlier about how many games you play, as we have a nice lead pass here for Quigley to get on the board. But it's not this, you know, they'll play 30 to 40 games in a season. It's like a college schedule. But the other thing they get with that, Joey, is the travel. I mean, there's a lot of travel just during the regular season out of state. And then they have a national tournament as well that they have fared well with also.
That was Landon Spidell, and he's got 6. Yeah, I guess you have to work with the school buses or anything like that to make sure travel's coordinated, right?
That's it.
I'm sure.
It's like,
well,
hey,
I don't actually know. Maybe they do organize school buses to make sure everybody goes, which is very cool. But
with some of these homeschool programs with that, it's like, hey, it's like the collegiate end where you got to have a director of basketball operations.
Exactly.
You know, setting up hotels.
Right.
And
you don't have
transportation.
Full-time. You don't have enough full-time people for all that, so everybody's got to put their heads together and.
Yeah, that's the true meaning of travel ball, which most of these kids just get in the summer.
Right.
But the homeschool programs will get that throughout the year. So, you know, the thing that's great about that, too, is for the families out there, you know, that feel that the homeschool is the best type of situation for their kids. You know, kudos for them and for the opportunity for them to compete in the way that they are.
Endeavor Communications offers a variety of internet speeds that fits your family and business needs. Surf the internet faster than ever before with internet speeds up to a gigabyte. Contact us at weendeavor.com for more info. .43 seconds remain for Tipton will hoist their first Clinton Central Holiday Tourney Championship trophy. And we'll have that coverage for you right here, so stick around for that. Tipton came, they saw, they conquered. Well, alley-oop, though, in style for Duke Carnes. He's got 17. Nearly reaches his average of 18. A player who will no doubt continue to have an impact for this Northside Lions team. Along with his brother Landon Carnes, the 2 leading scorers for this Northside team. And Cliff Hawkins and the Tipton Blue Devils are the victors of the Clinton Central Holiday Tourney. They continue their undefeated season and now reach double digits in wins along the way. An incredible effort from this team, winning by 29 points, Craig. It just felt like it was all Tipton from the start.
It was. I mean, they basically insert their will upon them and played exactly the way that they wanted. And you know, I mean, it was a great executed night. Wanted to get to 10-0. And I'm sure they'll have some great things for the remainder of the season, and wishing both these programs the best success the rest of the way.
Yeah, certainly a lot to like about both sides as well. Northside's still has 15 victories on the season. That's just their 4th loss. And of course, with their ability to kind of customize their schedule, that's why they have so many games played. That is now their 20th. Excuse me, that is now their 19th. I can't do math. But a big victory for Tipton. And a chance to hoist the trophy here at Clinton Central. We'll have that for you right here on ISC, so stick around. An incredible tournament, 8 teams all across the way. We will have the trophy ceremony from our PA announcer. We'll say goodbye to you on the air. So for Sean Walker and Elijah Mash and Craig Cox, I'm Joey Lindstrom saying so long. This has been a presentation of the Clinton Central Holiday Tourney on ISC.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.